Hello! Today we're going to have another go at my front shock spacers because I screwed it up last time. I am revisiting the Japan 4x4 shock spacers because last time I couldn't get the front shock to compress. I cannot get it to droop sufficiently for me to install the shock spacer. But this time round I've jacked it up, and all I did was then jack the lower control arm all the way up. My suspension's currently in low, so it should be at its lowest pressure, and this time I've actually got movement, so I can move the shock up and put my spacer on without any fuss. The last time this was an absolute nightmare to try and get done. This is going to work, this is good news. Low pressure mode inside the car. I didn't turn the system off, I just set it to low. I allowed the car to drop, jacked the car up, jacked the lower control arm up, and now I have freedom of movement on the shock spacer. So it is possible. I must just have been doing it wrong in my other video. And it looks like this time it's going to be a piece of cake. So I'm going to pull that through. I've got a bit of drilling to do. Oh, I hope I don't have to remove the brake disc. That would be rubbish. I don't want to have to remove the brake disc. Maybe I need to turn the wheel or something? Oh, I don't know. So far it's going well. Let me catch you up to speed on what I've been doing. The obvious one, jack the car up, put it on axle stands. I've tilted my steering all the way to the right so that I can drill a hole in there. That'll be essential. But all I had to do was put my suspension into low mode, and that allowed me to jack the lower control arm up. Then I've got free movement on the shock here. That allowed me to compress it properly this time. I wasn't able to do that last time. Now I put one bolt through the bottom here, bolt through the bottom there. It's now 22mm instead of 19s, and I have to drill out a hole here, which I think is going to be an M12. I'll measure that in a minute. My drill bits go up to 10. I might have to get another one for 12. But that has to go in here in order to lock it into place. I'm a little concerned that it's going to rub on the CV joint on full lock, or not the CV joint, but the boot is going to catch that if it's on full lock. I'll see what that's like once it's on the move. But so far, it's going very well. Let's get back to drilling. Can confirm, M12. So I got a 12mm steel drill bit. I must have nicked that off my dad like at least 20 years ago. Sorry, Dad.
Right, well, what he's doing now is just tidying up.
12mm hole here, that allows me to screw that into place, and that will stop it pivoting. So I'll get that tightened up nicely, and then figure out how to lever this bad boy down into place so that I can fasten up this side. This is going very well. So in terms of kit, this job was very straightforward. I needed my Mjolnir, of course, but I needed a 19 spanner and a 22 spanner. That's a 14 for my drop link, 19mm and 22mm for the bolts, and I needed an extension at one point. Thread file, never hurts to file down your threads. Bit of lubricant for cutting oil, 12mm drill bit. Obviously I didn't start with the 12, I stepped up from small ones and finished on the 12. And grease, so that every time I put something back on, I get it with a bit of lithium moly grease, because then next time I'm in here, it's easier. So again, let's recap. Drop link, 14mm. The standard bolt here was 19 on both sides to remove the shock. New bolts are 22, and this one, I think that's a 19 again. Let's just try. New bolt, yeah, 19mm. So 19s and 22s and a 14 for the drop link. That's what you need. Man, this thing is disgusting. You would not think that I have just spent £2 having this undersealed. It's a mess already. Anyway, that's beside the point. That one's in. Drilled a new hole, everything's bolted in tight. Now I'll move on to the other side. This should be pretty fast now that I've got my iron. I'm on the other side now, but if you look at this thing, the only way, like, it just doesn't fit. The only way that would fit is if you were cutting this off and welding in the new part. Then maybe you would need it for stability. But I can't see how this applies to the 100 series at all. Alright, I checked with people on the internet and they said cut it down and put it in. So I've put it in my angle grinder, I have cut it down, and I will slide that in. Never one to argue with people on the internet, me, so I'll fit it. Alright, I can confirm you need to put this piece in, because once you tighten this bolt up, it squeezes the plates together. You need that bolt. Make sure that that sleeve is in there. There's the other side done. 19mm at the top, drilled with a 12mm drill bit. 22mm bolt here. The original 19 is retained. And with the suspension and low pressure, I was able to manipulate this into position. No ratchet straps or anything needed. 19, 22, 19. Relatively straightforward here, and this side took me 20 minutes, now that I know what I'm doing. So that's done, the pressures are healthy. I'm not going to pretend it rides any smoother than it did before, but at least the system isn't having to work so hard in order to get it up to that maximum pressure. So I've got about an extra inch of lift there, front and back. I've got my shock spacers on both sides. They're not actually that complicated to install once you know what you're doing. The back ones are the trickiest part because you really have to wrench the shock into place and you have to rotate them, but the front ones should be straightforward now that I understand what I'm doing. Shock spacers help you a little bit with your suspension after you've done the AHC lift. Totally doable in the driveway without any special tools. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video very soon. And don't worry about the discotheque. My light's knackered. That's just another thing on my list of stuff to fix. Thanks everyone, bye.